Welcome to the Color Cinema. I am live right here in my movie library, and I gotta put up that freaking fire alarm tonight. That's something that I have to do. Actually, I was gonna do that earlier today. I actually got the batteries put in. Hopefully, it doesn't get smoky up there and start like binging up there because we were cooking earlier. Uh, but I am not feeling the best. But welcome, and I promise you I was gonna make a video. I'm sorry that I didn't make it last night, but I got home and I crashed. Hey, hey there, Rick, AME. Hey there, Chris. And when I say I crashed, I do mean I literally came to bed and I crashed down on the bed, and I woke up several hours later. And for some reason, I haven't been feeling the best, a bit weak, a bit under the weather. Got to eat better, I think, and I got to start working out a bit more. Cause hey there, Alan. First off, before I do anything else, I want to give a shout out to my patrons because this very episode is going to be very important for me to do that. Hey, Vince. So Action Jackman, Brent, Brian, Dale, Dr. Mark, Mad Scientist, JR62, Ryan, and the third Ryan, tripling them up there. Shadow Price, Lisa Crow, Mary Sullivan, Drax, Sumo, and my latest patron. Thank you so much, Italian Dan. It's been a, hopefully, hey there, Daniel. This is Daniel here, who has the Cobwebs Gothic Cinema podcast, which you guys all should be listening to because it's a fantastic podcast. Because of my Patreon supporters, I came a big step closer to the podcast the weekend. So just so you know, what happens with I'm going to get to all the DC stuff actually. When people support my Patreon, it goes towards the channel, and it goes towards doing the podcast. So I finally legitimized myself, and I got the Snowball Black Ice for my podcast. Hey there, Tanya. Thank you so much. You're part of the Crimson Cult now. So you're a part of this. This is getting me one step closer to getting the podcast up and going. I got to get like a, what do you call it, spit guard type thing for it. And I'll probably be doing my first one with my left coke. That's not a bad idea, Alan. But I somehow I can't. I'm addicted. But yeah, maybe I'm having too much of that sweetness. So we've got a lot of stuff to go over tonight. But for those of you that have been like supporting the Patreon, those that intend to, you got a group name now. You're called the Crimson Cult. There is a, telling Dan, there is a poll up on the there where you can vote for which movie I torture my spouse with, and then we talk about it on my Patreon channel. So there are 7 choices, and it's locked and tied right now between Birdemic and there's a 3-way tie, I think. Birdemic, RoboWar, and what's the other one that was it? And let's just check here. And Dracula versus Frankenstein. Oh wait, so we also got to vote for Texas Chainsaw Massacre: Next Generation, Don't Go in the Woods Alone. So there were 7 things up there. The Force was up there, which is total pain. And WCW Sin 2001, because I wanted to put something different and weird in there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, yesterday was a big day for DC. DC fandom happened, and we're going to talk about that a bit. We're going to talk about the Mill Creek big announcement with the sets there. We'll talk about the Indicator set that I didn't get to mention very much on my last video, which is their big film noir box set that they're coming out, the volume 1. So there's more of those coming. There's a lot of news to talk about here today, and there's a lot that I probably missed. I'll even mention the Criterion November releases. One of them's a really big box set. I'm going to tell you about my Gamera struggles, and we will go from there. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. This is that big fork in the road. What would you guys like to talk about first? Because we can go anyway. I've been noticing your comic collecting recently, Chris, and your comic collecting's been on game, man. You've gotten some really good stuff, what the stuff that you're collecting is the stuff from my childhood So it makes me feel a bit old, but I actually really love seeing when you put the comics up there. So what do you Gamera? Okay, Amy, ready for the pain? I made the significant mistake because I couldn't afford it any other way to order Gamera through Amazon. And I ordered it way back in like early March. So I really pre-ordered it really way ahead of time to make sure there was going to be no issue with Gamera. Oh, by the way, new shirt today is the Bowie 74 World Tour. I was only 3 when Bowie 74 World Tour happened, but I would love to have been there. I'm a huge David Bowie fan, as is my better half, which we'll talk about sometime, because she may have met him. Anyway, so I ordered the Gamera set. I pre-ordered it way, way in advance, because I wanted to make sure that what happened with Blood Island trilogy didn't happen again. There is the Severin Blood Island trilogy, and as you guys know, one of the big things. Hey, Richard, in my collection, it's upstairs, is my Hemisphere horror set. I love that set. I watched those movies. I'm actually going to probably be reviewing some of those movies down the road. But the Hemisphere horror set. Anyway, so I wanted the Blood Island trilogy. I pre-ordered it in advance, but then it comes close to the date that it's supposed to be coming out. So I said, okay, has the money come out of my account yet? Because it usually comes out like a day or two before they ship it out, or the day of shipping usually. So nothing came out of my account. Nothing came out of my account. And then on the Blood Island set, it said, oh, don't worry, we got your set, but it's just going to be coming a month later than it should come. So a month later happens. I said, sorry, your set has been pushed forward again to another month. I'm getting a bit suspicious. By this point, the Blood Island set has sold out all over, and I can't get it anymore. So I have to wait on Amazon. Then a month later happens, and they say, oh, sorry, we could not get the set back in. The set is now canceled. All right. There we go with that. Gamera. I pre-ordered the Gamera set way, way back. Now it's finally coming out. So I'm like, perfect, Gamera set's coming out. Tell my better half, it's going to be August 18th. That's when the set's coming out. They'll probably like charge a couple days before that. We got to save up enough money for the set for that period. All of a sudden, I get like, your Flash Gordon is being sent. And I'm like, that's fantastic. What about my Gamera set? And I go down through my orders, and it's like, it doesn't show anything in my orders. Then I go to my open orders, and it says, look, Gamera set September 2nd to October 11th. And I'm like, oh boy, this is happening again. I know this is happening again. Now, I just spoke on Twitter with a very good YouTuber on here, and which is Michael Keane. And and he's waiting to get his, but he's getting his from Diabolique, so he's going to get his. Dr. Mark, Mad Scientist, I'm very suspicious about that, about it coming when they say, if yours got a date on it, but an actual date, like as in like, oh, it's going to come in a week or two, that's good. But if yours had a date, like as in like a month or two down the road, be suspicious. I saw that. I can't believe you and Cyril at Midnight had the same thing. Unfortunately, I can't afford to get it from the Arrow website. It's a bit more expensive, and I can't do that right now. So I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope and pray that the Gamera box set that I got locked in at this Amazon is not going to do the same thing as it did before. I'm going to try and contact them early next week to see. Now, I did order one set. I did pre-order one set last week because I was worried I was going to lose out on it, and that it was an Indicator set. So I did the pre-order for the Indicator Fu Manchu set, and hopefully I got it in time to get the Fu Manchu for Mayor poster, which I really want. So I'm not sure how Indicator is for like shipping, like their speed time. Hopefully it's pretty good because we did get like tracked. I'm going to get to that set, Amy. So I'm just super excited about that. And if you haven't seen it, then we'll get into more indicator stuff. Since Amy mentioned it, there is a hammer set coming. And for those that couldn't get the indicator sets when they came out, or just want a really, really good hammer set, that's going to have a ton of stuff on it. I kind of leaked it by accident, because I do apologize. I saw it on Amazon. Hey there, Sasha. And it said the Ultimate Collection Hammer films coming from Mill Creek. And I just been speaking with Mill Creek earlier that day, and I put it on my Twitter, and Mill Creek contacted me and he said, "How did you know this was coming out?" And I'm like, "I saw it on Amazon. Is it I can take it down. Is it a big deal?" So they were like, "No, it's okay." And so then once it went, just about a few minutes before it went live, they texted me, and the on Twitter, and they said, "Okay, here's the link to the set if you want to let people know. Here's what's going to be in it." So I was able to get it put up there fairly quickly. Unfortunately, I didn't see it as soon as it initially came out. I want to make sure I got them all here. So there are 20 films in the Hammer set, and that's pretty amazing. All these are going to be on Blu-ray, and I'm pretty sure there's most of these, if not all, are going to have the same the prints that Indicator has on theirs. So if you missed out on stuff, this is really a good time to get it. If you never got Hammer before, this is going to be like a super great time to pick up the set. If it's it's coming out, I think, in November. I'm going to check on that, actually, the date for this. But 20 cult classics from Hammer from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. On it, we got, hey there, James, welcome, man. Did you hear about the Hammer set? The Revenge of Frankenstein, which is a fantastic Frankenstein film. Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, The Curse, The Mummy's Tomb. These Are the Damned. I love that film, by the way. The Old Dark House, The Gorgon, The Snorkel, Maniac, Die Die My Darling, Scream of Fear, Stop Me Before I Kill, Never Take Candy from a Stranger, Cash on Demand, which is one of the most underrated Hammer films of all time, and a great role for Peter Cushing. Make sure you check that out. Stranglers of Bombay, The Terror of the Tongs is a favorite of mine, along with Stranglers of Bombay, which is a great double feature and something to really get you in the mood for those Fu Manchu films. The Parts of Blood River, The Devil Ship Pirates, Camp on Blood Island, Yesterday's Enemy, and Creatures the World Forgot. It ranges from 1958 to 1971, and it is a fantastic little Hammer set that is coming out. I'm super stoked about it. And the artwork on it, a lot of these are definitely the same ones that Indicator released. Now, the thing to know is that some Indicator ones are unfortunately going to print right now. I don't know, I don't know if you're going to have the feature-wise as what Indicator on here, but for the box set and 20 films, it's probably the price of what I paid for one of my Indicator sets. And the artwork is incredible, to the point where I'm tempted to re-get this set, because I'm a sucker for box art. And look here. Actually, I think the price is about $100, $104 is what I saw. Let me just check here to be 100% sure. There's another set announced, which I'll mention in a second, which some of you guys are going to be into. $109.99 is MSRP right now. It is on the Mill Creek website if you want to go there. It will be a 10-disc set, so it'll be two films per Blu-ray, which actually is pretty cool. So you're not going to have like 3 or 4 films put on a Blu-ray, on one Blu-ray kind of crammed on there. They're going to be double featured, which is going to be kind of cool. Revenge of Frankenstein double featured with Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, Curse of Mummy's Tomb double featured. There's going to be some neat ways that you can watch these, and a way you can start doing some kind of cool double feature stuff. So that's going to be fun as well. I kind of want to get it for that too. Now, when they announced that, they also announced that, let's see what they say here. Can you buy it on Amazon? Not on CA, I don't think, not yet. But on Amazon.com, I think you can. But there's also a Rita Hayworth set. I think it's Rita Hayworth. I got to check. Pretty sure it is coming out I got to turn this down so I can actually see your stuff. I haven't yet, James. Thank you so much because I missed that. I've forgotten that. Kino Lorber is putting out a Buck Rogers set. It's going to include on Blu-ray. It's going to include not just the film, but it's going to include both seasons of the TV show. That's going to be really exciting to see. And I got to meet Buck Rogers, Joe Girard. I was at a convention in Montreal. It was my very first convention. I was going around looking for my better half. We were getting ready to do like to talk with. I think I was getting a picture with Stanley at the time. And I came around the corner and I came around like just a bit too quickly and I almost banged into a guy and I look up and it's Buck Rogers himself. He was a very sweet guy, wasn't upset or anything like that, said hi. I said hi. I was kind of like baffled. I have the DVD of this, but I definitely want to get the Blu-ray edition of this one down the road. I don't know if it's something that I can pick up on release date, but if anybody doesn't have it, or anybody's a really big fan of Buck Rogers, I literally used to skip school when Buck Rogers came on in the daytimes. And I knew my grandparents were going to be away, I would start walking up towards school. But first, what I would do, because we had like a two-story place, I would unlock the basement door. Then I would go like I was going up to school, wait till my grandparents left and went for a drive. Usually they went to drive to North Point. And then I would walk back, go in the basement door, come up the steps, go into my room because I had a TV in my room. And I would sit down there and I would watch Buck Rogers. So that was a fun time. So thank you, James, because that's one I would have forgotten and it would have been a shame. Took drastically different directions between seasons. They did. I mean, it's kind of like Buck Rogers did the exact same thing that Space 1999 did. Space 1999 was a great series that started with some really dark, different, like really sci-fi / horror aspects to it. Buck Rogers started with kind of a real kind of like cool science fiction aspect. Really went into the to different fields and stuff like that. And then they both took on a much more cheesier aspect, a much more kind of mainstream, mainlined sci-fi in their second season. And it would be both, it would be the downfall of Buck Rogers and the downfall of Space 1999 as well. It's a good parallel, actually, when you think about both those shows. It's amazing. Like they're like, your show is doing well. Why would you go and do something different? Just to because if it's working, you don't want to fix it, man. You don't want to fix something that's not broken. Think about. So you're doing individual sleeves, Bergman, for the for the Bergman set. That's actually kind of cool. Bitty bitty bitty. I love, I love the show. The fact that they took it to Princess in the first season, and she didn't show up in the second season really baffled me because she was cool. I had a lot of guys watching for that Princess, but she was gone. Obviously, they brought in Hawkman, which was an actor I liked, the Hawkman character, who of course you see him parodied on Rick and Morty all the time with the Birdman character. Like most exciting news for you is the Ghost Dog: Way of the Samurai is coming to Criterion. So you're excited about Ghost Dog? I mean, it's a cool title. For me, like, I'm not sure what the big news for me is this year. Well, there's so much. I mean, like, it is an insane year for films, for box sets, for like there's the Hammer set coming out. There's we got the Friday 13th. Hey there, D. Hey there, Doc. DEC. I'm gonna get this right. My eyesight's not the best tonight. I'm not feeling the greatest. But as for like other things that have been announced, which I wanted to get into, wanted to mention, I'll do this right now while I still remember it. They are doing the Columbia Noir set Volume 1 for Indicator. I do apologize. I don't have like a very good picture there for that. The films on the first set, we got Escape in the Fog. It's a Bud Boddicker film. And guys know I like Bud Boddicker. The Undercover Man by Joseph H. Lewis. Drive a Crooked Road by Richard Quine. Five Against the House, Phil Carlson. Really good film, by the way. The Garment Jungle by Vincent Sherman and Robert Aldrich. And The Lineup by Don Siegel. And anything Don Siegel is it's It's actually pretty damn cool. Uh, it's a limited Blu-ray edition. There's four UK and two world Blu-ray releases on here. So four of these are pretty much the first time they've been released on Blu-ray in the UK. Two of these releases are first time worldwide Blu-ray. So that's kind of cool. As for the features on, I'll go through them really quickly. Afterwards, we can talk about it if you want to. There's 2K restorations of Escape in the Fog, The Undercover Man, and The Garment Jungle. High definition presentations of Drive a Crooked Road, Five Against the House, and the lineup. Original mono soundtracks, which is important to me actually. Audio commentary with film historian Pamela Hutchinson on Escape in the Fog. Audio commentary with writer, film programmer Tony Ryans on The Undercover Man. Audio commentary with Nick Pinkerton on Drive a Crooked Road. Audio commentary with critic David Jenkins on Five Against the House. Audio commentary with film historian Kevin Lyons on The Garment Jungle. And all those are brand new audio commentaries, by the way. There's a 2009 audio commentary with James Ellroy and Eddie Mueller on the lineup. I'm pretty sure that's from the Sony Columbia DVD set that was out. Audio commentary with film historian David Duvall and author screenwriter C. Courtney Joyner for the lineup. Introduction to Drive a Crooked Road by Martin Scorsese. It's a Jungle Out There, a carved interview with Robert Loggia. My God. Appreciation of the Garment Jungle by Tony Raines. Influence of noir. Appreciation of the lineup by Christopher Nolan. That's definitely from the set. 2 episodes of the lineup radio series. Snapshots, Mickey Rooney, Then and Now. A short promotional film on Mickey Rooney, Man on a Bus, short film directed by with Joseph H. Lewis, with Walter Brennan, Bradley Crawford, Lassie, and Ruth Roman. Original theatrical trailers for the films, the lineup trailer commentary, short critical essay by his History of Violence screenwriter Josh Olson, image gallery, new improved English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and of course a 120-page booklet as they normally do in their sets. It will be limited to 6,000, and that is the Columbia Noir Volume 1 set. So Volume 1 means that they're going to put more volumes, much like the Hammer ones, where we've got 5 volumes of that right now, and William Castle, where we got 2 volumes. It's going to be interesting to see how many volumes they do for the Noir set and how many they have the rights to. Noir is definitely a big field, and Columbia did a lot of them, so we'll see where they go. I have a couple of the, for those that are interested, I have a couple Noir box sets, and I'm pretty sure that they're Columbia, and they were curated by Christopher Nolan. So I will show, and we're going to be talking in a minute about like the whole DC fandom thing, because I know you guys are kind of interested in that and what happened yesterday, and there was some big news. There was a big trailer that I definitely want to talk about and get your thoughts on as well. I feel like I'm doing all the talking here tonight, so I'm going to stop for a second and give you guys time so I can breathe and just I got a few Nicolas Cage here. I can't remember which ones though. It's a really interesting box set. I mean, like, it's going to be cool. It's definitely going to be a cool one. Indicator has been the king of their box sets with the stuff that they put out, and definitely it's one to. If I had the bones, I'd pre-order it myself right now. But I just pre-ordered the Fu Manchu one. The Batman trailer looked amazing. Who has seen the Batman trailer? I got, before I go any farther. Excellent. Has anybody, okay, let's put this. Has anyone not seen the Batman trailer? Goblins, definitely worth looking into, man. It's a really cool trailer. I'm going to go over it right now, by the way. Not a big trailer guy. So we're kind of wondering how they were going to go with Batman. We knew that this was Matt Reeves, so it's definitely going to be like a super, like, kind of dark take on The Dark Knight. Some people actually complained. They're like, I can't believe The Dark Knight is so brutal and he's so emo. To those people, I have one question. Have you ever read a Batman comic before? Because I don't think you have. Not since the 1960s anyway, because this is what Batman is. This is really getting into like the Dark Knight detective aspect of Batman. And if you like the video games, then you're probably really going to like this because this really leans into the video games. Like people say, I can't believe Batman's so emo. Really? Did you not watch the Justice League series? Did you not see that episode when they all turned back into little kids because of that thing that was done? And basically, Batman's the only one that's literally like a little adult because he hasn't changed. Uh, this is Batman's character. He's dark. He's literally a guy that dresses up like a bat and goes into the night striking fear into the hearts of people and beating the crap out of villains. Yeah, he's dark and he's emo. That's literally the whole character. The new Batman looks a lot like Seven. It does have a very Seven-esque vibe to it, Vince. What I didn't realize till further viewings on that trailer was, oh my God, that's the Riddler. That's Paul Dano. From what I can tell, if correct me if I'm wrong, but Paul Dano is playing the Riddler in this one, and man, is this a different, dark interpretation of the Riddler. Oh yeah, the IMAX has always been there. Like even that's the first time we've seen it on screen since the original Batman with Michael Keaton. But it makes sense. That's what he would have on there. I'll get to the Snyder Cut trailer after. Actually, don't worry, I'm not going to forget that one, Chris. But this is a very different, unique take on the Riddler. When people say that this is a very Seven-esque, Keaton's the best Batman of all time. That goes without saying. But live act. But I'm really excited about this one. This is probably the most excited I've been for a Batman film since uh, since the since the '89 film. It really is actually. I was unsure that I was going to be down with the Riddler being this like psychotic serial killer. But when you something comes on the screen and you're not it's not something you expected and you don't know you want it and then you see it and then you realize, oh man, I wanted this for so long. It's going to deal with the detective aspect of Batman a lot more. So whether the Riddler is going to be Edward Nigma or he's going to be under a different name, and maybe that he has to like decipher and figure out who he is, that's going to be interesting as well. If you haven't seen the trailer, Batman is pretty brutal in it. He beats the crap out of this guy. This is going to be Batman in his year two, so in his second year of being Batman. So he's still getting things done. He's still making mistakes. Oh, definitely. That's one of the things, Couch, that Matt Reeves focused on is that it's going to be more grounded. This is the Dark Knight detective. There is going to be more of a detective story to it, but it's not going to miss out on the action because of that. Kevin Conroy, the animated Batman, he's awesome. So it's nice to see the. I think it'll go PG-13. I don't think it'll go R. It would be shooting himself in the foot to go R, and I wouldn't expect it to. Like for anybody like that, like to see it say, well, I hope this goes R. No, you're going to cut off part of your audience, and that just doesn't make any sense. Hey, Jason. All right, so yeah, it's not going to go R. It'll go PG-13. PG to PG-13 is what I say for this, and I'd say PG. It'll be brutal because it's a Matt Reeves film, but it'll be brutal within the context. And like we have home video nowadays, guys, so there can always be an unrated cut down the road. It's like I'll use Rob Zombie here. It's like Rob Zombie always says. Basically, he says people say, "Ah, I can't believe you're doing an R-rated cut. Why don't you just do an unrated cut?" And it's like that's nice and all, but theaters and money have to be made. Movies aren't done on magic on magic dust, and an unrated cuts always come out anyway. That's kind of the way that they do it. All right, so let's mention the Snyder cut. Uh, Let me in exactly. Matt Reeves is a really good director. See, I like that done. I know it's a bit polarizing, but I like the Planet of the Apes films. But Snyder cut. So it looks pretty awesome. Of course, some people are saying some of the effects are a little bit dodgy. Still looks better than special effects from Justice League that I got there on 4K, by the way. Uh, but what can I say? It looks really good. I love seeing Darkseid in it. Um, there's definitely still some effects that need to be like worked out. It's going to be 4 1-hour episodes done in HBO Max. It's going to be done for other countries. They're working out a way for distribution there. They're not sure if it's going to be going to a theater. It's going to be done in a big 4-hour block. Um, but the one thing that I thought was a little bit over the top, and but it's totally Zack Snyder, so I'm not surprised, is the choice of the music for. But wait, first I gotta say this: Nirvana song for the Batman trailer, freaking awesome. Using Hallelujah as the song for the Snyder cut. Oh boy. Yeah. If I had one tiny complaint about the whole Snyder Cut trailer, it's not the effects. That's things gonna be worked on. It's not any of the other things. I can see a lot of interesting things coming in there. It's the use of the song Hallelujah. Like, look, you had that other Justice League. Look, I've come to save you with my cut of the film, or at least that's the way it comes off. Yeah, it's kind of hilarious. I'm like being bowled away by the visuals and how much better it looks than the one that I've seen, and the Hallelujah song's playing. I'm like, Snyder, you just pushed it over the top again, or whoever the hell did the trailer. But it was interesting to see anyway. Wonder Woman 84 looks to be really good. It's going to be fun. I like Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, and I really, I see. I don't mind the Man of Steel. Now, it's one that I'll be honest with you. I loved in theater, and I've liked a little bit less each time that I've rewatched it. But that's just me. Robert Pattinson definitely is badass as Batman Allen. But it's gonna. Wonder Woman looks to be real. I didn't see the Black Adam. Was there a Black Adam teaser trailer? No, actually, I did see the Richard. That's one I missed out on. Hey there, Hedge. We're talking about the DC fandom right now. Uh, the Wonder Woman trailer looks amazing. Kristen Wiig is the perfect choice for Cheetah. She's exactly how I would picture Cheetah being, taken right to the comic book. I love the progression of the character as we see her. I wish they wouldn't have showed the final progression of Cheetah in the trailer personally, but it was interesting to see uh, how they're going with it, and it's going to be comedic, but you can kind of see, oh man, I don't think that we're getting him to step back. I think we're going to see a certain character die again in this one because he's not really, sands of time, not really supposed to be back type of thing, but he is. So I kind of expect that to happen. The other trailer that I saw was, what was the other one? Batman, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad. Wasn't really a trailer. They just showed who the characters were. Everybody looks to be really well cast in Suicide Squad. One of the biggest announcements for people that like video games is the announced Gotham Knights, the game, which is pretty much like the Arkham Asylum games. It's just in this one, Batman looks to be maybe dead, and people have come up and they've taken up the mantle of the Bat. Um, Actually, I haven't watched SummerSlam. I better have to watching like a reaction video on it though. But I'm not watching the SummerSlam tonight. WWE hasn't been doing it for me lately. Um, but the Gotham Knights game, if you have never checked out the trailer and you're big and you like gaming and you like the Arkham Asylum games, you're definitely gonna like this game. They also announced the Suicide Squad game coming in 2021. What as a wrestling fan, and so Ragman, you're gonna want to know this. King Shark is being voiced by Samoa Joe, which is super cool, and I'm glad he's getting something like that. Um, So there was a ton of news yesterday from DC fandom. The biggest news for me is still the Batman trailer. That was my favorite. That's the one that stood out to me the most. As a Doctor Who fan, I'm glad to see Peter Capaldi in Suicide Squad. It's the Thinker. I'm not quite sure how long his character is going to survive in it. There's way too many cast members in that film to have them all survive. I kind of think maybe they'll do like a Mission Impossible and have like a first Suicide Squad, which will get killed off or captured or something at the beginning of the film, like bringing in a second Suicide Squad. That's kind of what I think when they have that many characters, that many big actors playing these characters on the screen. That's my guess for it. But there you go. That's my thoughts on DC fandom. Whew, I'm getting through this pretty good, huh? I guess the other announcements that was made was that Criterion is doing their November releases. It looks like there is Girlfriends by Claudia Well coming on November 10th. Moonstruck is coming on November 17th. Ghost Dog, Sasha, there you go. Way of the Samurai is coming on November 17th. The Essential Fellini set is coming on November 24th. A lot of people are going to be excited about that one, myself included, though I don't know if I'll be able to get it right away. And The Irishman is coming on November 24th. There has been some people that have said, why isn't The Irishman done in 4K? Because it was done in 4K, but apparently Criterion right now, look it up, man, yeah. Bullseye Man. I can see, I don't think Criterion are going to do 4K quite yet. How does this Hammer set differ from that larger one that was released overseas? Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about like the DVD one that came out years ago? That kind of went out of print. Well, this one here is the Blu-ray set. Okay, as opposed to like the one that remember that blocked cube I got. That is that's a DVD set. So there's gonna be remastered Blu-ray editions of the films. Oh, actually, Carole Lombard. Is that the other set? I was trying to remember who it was. Is that the Mill Creek set? Is it Carole Lombard, the other set? So that's going to be a big difference, is having them from DVD to 4K. It's different, completely different films from the set that's in the UK. I got that set. I don't think if there's a crossover, there may be crossover, maybe one or two films. So you could actually buy that DVD set down the road from the UK and buy this and not get a hell of a lot of crossover, to be bluntly honest with you. I know this because when I was looking at some of these films and I went about the indicator sets and I look at this set here, right here, it doesn't cross over with my Hammer DVD set. Superman 2 Donner Cut. I still prefer I know I'm in the minority, but the Donner Cut's not my preferred cut. The theatrical cut's my preferred cut. But let me know what you think. I prefer the girl to Marlon Brando. Necessary Evil. Oh, I remember that documentary. The titles have been revealed. I'll go them through here one more time. Because I think they're worth, when something's really good, it's worth going over twice. There are 20 films in total. And they are The Revenge of Frankenstein, Two-Face of Dr. Jekyll, The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, These Are the Damned, The Old Dark House, The Gorgon, The Snorkel Maniac, Die Die My Darling, Scream of Fear, Stop Me Before I Kill, Never Take Candy from a Stranger, Cash on Demand, The Stranglers of Bombay, The Terror of the Tongues, The Parts of Blood River, The Devil Ship Parts, The Camp on Blood Island, and Yesterday's Enemy. So, yeah, some pretty damn good stuff there coming out from Columbia Noir Box. I know, Elvin. I just mentioned that set, and it looks pretty friggin' awesome, doesn't it? The other set announced from Mill Creek was a Rita Hayworth The Ultimate Collection, and this is also a Blu-ray set too, which has, for any Rita Hayworth fans in there, Music in My Heart, which I am, by the way, You'll Never Get Rich, Tonight and Every Night, Down to Earth, The Lady from Shanghai, great film by the way. The Ladies of Carmen, Affair in Trinidad, another fantastic film. Solemn, Miss Sadie Thompson, again I love that film. Fire Down Below, Pal Joey, and They Came to Cordura. So there you go. There's a Rita Hayworth box set coming out as well. So it is the year of the box sets, guys. If you are a classic film box set, you're going to love the Rita Hayworth set. If you like the Hammer stuff and or you just getting into the Hammer stuff, no better way than a set that has 20 Hammer films on it on Blu-ray for like $100. That is a damn good price. Um, and with the that's it. I make you poor. I apologize. She's making Incredible Hulk 3 live action. Incredible Hulk, unfortunately, Ellen has had some like rights issues. That's why we've only seen him in films that have been like. There's so many. I don't know, Alan. There's a lot. I'd have to go. One of these days, I'll go through. We'll go through Hammer. We'll do like a big Hammer video. It might take a couple videos actually. But there's been rights issues with the Hulk that's caused them from not doing it like an on his own type of film. Spider Woman, we'd have to do it right. I mean, like we got to introduce the character, and I almost want to see Spider Woman. I'm not sure if I want to see her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I kind of want to see some offshoot films now. Marvel Cinematic Universe has its own formula down. Uh, but I want to see some films that Marvel are doing that may not fit into that formula. I picked up the Arrow version of the Flash Gordon set, also with the Studio Canal, remaster on there. Great, great one. Dived into the features. I want the whole cartoon series remastered on Blu-ray because they remastered an episode of the cartoon series, like two segments, which is really, really cool. I love when they're talking about the Nicholas Rogue version of Flash Gordon. That was really interesting, and you could tell that they were both kind of heartbroken that never got made, and all the work and the time that they put into doing their version of Flash Gordon, and it was never really going to be considered because Nicholas Rogue was going to make like a serious Flash Gordon film, and it was obvious from the very beginning that they wanted much more cheesier, like action-oriented Flash Gordon as opposed to what Nicholas Rogue had in mind. Who's the super that I want to see get a movie adaptation the most? Well, he's already gotten an adaptation, but I would like to see him get a really good adaptation. And I'll go with superhero too. But I'm going to say like there's a couple. I would love to see the Question done, but a Question is more of a mini series, like or a TV series type thing. But as for a film, because I still don't think it's been done properly. Like I did like the original film that they did, but to really do it well, because I'm a big like adventure fan, and I do like the real adventure pal type superheroes. So the Phantom. And for those that don't know the Phantom, he was a comic strip character, and basically the whole idea behind the Phantom is that he's like this, kind of like the king of the jungle, the Phantom of the jungle. He, and it's a passed down thing, where like when one Phantom dies, then his son or descendant like takes over and does like does them, and sometimes he'll do updates to it. So I would really love to see a really good Phantom film done. I know there's the Billy Zane one that was out there a few years back in the early '90s, but superhero films weren't really being taken as seriously, and they weren't as big budgeted, like done. They're done more towards okay, let's make a kid film. But the Phantom is one that I've always wanted to see redone. I love jungle films. I love superhero films, and I would love to see like a really good epic, like kind of a Black Panther style Phantom film. That may be something that I'll never see, but I'm probably the only person. What do I think of the Batman trailer? I don't know if I actually just mentioned I love the Batman trailer. I didn't think I was going to, but man, do I love their take on the Riddler. It's very dark. It's very kind of film noir-esque. Shadow film. That's my second choice, Dave. Actually, only animated according to Disney. That's a big mistake on their part. But I think Disney has like since they got the rights to Star Wars, that they really don't they're really not taking anything else seriously. John Carter Mars should have been a success. 91 Hammer Films, nice, Deck. Thank you. And don't forget the TV shows either. There's two TV series for the Hammer. Hammer had a House of Horror, and there's another Hammer TV series that came out as well. And Hammer started back in the 30s, by the way. So 30s or 40s, I think. Bela Lugosi is actually in a Hammer film. Mystery of the Marie Celeste. But that's before they became popular, and they started doing their gothic horror with the Curse of Frankenstein. But yeah, it's a big mistake. I mean, John Carter Mars should have been a success. There was obviously things that could have like really been fixed. Phantom Ship. Phantom Ship, is that the one? Is that the Marie Celeste one? Is that Bela Lugosi? Thank you. So there you go. With the Mill Creek set, that's 20 films. So you're gonna start out with a quarter of the Hammer films in one go, in just one fell swoop. You've got yourself 20 Hammer films. So just let that sink in for a minute. They made 91 films. Well, not, yeah, almost a quarter. Well, a fifth. We'll go with almost a. They made 91 films. See, I do have a good memory for some things. And you're going to get some of the classic horror thriller films and some of their action films as well. They did some really good action films. They're underrated. Their action films are underrated. Things like Terror of the Tongs, like especially, which I actually really do like. Well, these things, that's the thing. A lot of these here aren't ones that Scream Factory. I'm pretty sure. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but these aren't the ones that Scream Factory's released, right? Like these are completely different. So you can get your Scream Factory ones and pick this up, and you're not going to go over because, nope, none of these here have been put up by Scream Factory. The Noir films, yeah, that's right. Who put those out again? Was it VCI? Put it like the box sets of those Hammer Film Noir. My dad used to have one of those. There's an Ozzy set with 13 Hammer films on it, which were close to the ones that, which again, they weren't these. These here, like where if you have the indicator sets, then this is going to be crossover, right? If you don't have the indicator sets, and you don't have the bones to get the indicator sets, and since the first one's gone out of print, some of the ones have gone out of print, and you want to just get the set, get all the films for like a really good price altogether. Damn man, 20 films on Blu-ray. Now, and this doesn't cross over with your partnerships. Well, they're kind of low budget with some of those. But actually, I love Pirates of Pearl River though. Let's get Christopher Lee, man. But it's not going to cross over with the Scream Factory ones. Some of these may have been like Warner Archive releases. Some of the part ones especially. But I don't think all of them. But like a lot of the Warner Archive ones are kind of leaning really towards the Dracula and stuff right now. You never seen a Hammer film? Oh, you got to. I mean, like there's some really good stuff. And there's like a lot of great Hammer films out there. The Christopher Lee Draculas are still the best. Does Hammer compete with Amicus? Does Amicus compete with Hammer? Well, a couple years ago, I actually did a video where actually a two-part video where I did Amicus versus Hammer, and it was a popular video back in the day. And I've been asked to redo it, to revisit it, and like do an updated version of Hammer versus Amicus now that I got more Amicus in my collection and more Hammer in my collection. So I will definitely be doing that. For those that are unaware of Amicus, Amicus was more famous for the Portmanteau films, or otherwise known as the anthology films. They did a lot of stuff like Asylum, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, like a lot of stuff like that. Now, the neat little thing though is that Hammer's whole Gothic period, the whole Gothic era, in a way, in a roundabout way, came about because of Amicus. And Amicus would come about because of a bit of a rejection from Hammer. So, see, what would happen is the guys behind Amicus, that would later be behind Amicus, wrote a version of Frankenstein and shopped it to Hammer Studios. Hammer Studios decided that they would do Frankenstein, but they decided they would not do their version of Frankenstein, and they pretty much did their own version of it. I'm not sure if any of the original script by the Amicus guys was left in the Curse of Frankenstein or not, but eventually when Hammer decided to do it, they kind of went their own way and decided not to work with the Amicus guys. The Amicus guys decided, okay, Hammer's gone off and did their own stuff. They're doing their own Gothic horror. We're going to do our stuff, but we're going to do it in more of like an anthology thing so we can get like a lot of big actors in, not have to pay them as much because they're not going to be in so much of the film, and do like and kind of like bite-sized segments. Really go towards against Hammer with the where we're going to have a more modern approach with some Gothic put in there, and they did it. And they also decided that okay, early on, we're going to put it at like a PG to PG-13 thing. We're not going to do a lot of R-rated stuff, but we're going to make sure that the film is like creepy or humorous or darkly humorous enough that it's going to still have the same quality as an R-rated film, and they did, in my opinion, do that. I'll talk about that more in a future Amicus versus Hammer video, but that's a little snippet, a little taste of what that video is going to entail. So it's like a snake that ate its own tail. Amicus, like guys, begot the Hammer Gothic era, and the Hammer Gothic era begot Amicus. So there's a whole story behind that. Hopefully that didn't bore you too much. Monster coming out next month on Amicus from Indicator. That is actually a really good one. I like it anyway. It's fun for me. Have I seen the Russian horror film Sputnik yet? I have not actually. See, I think the Dark Universe was a really good idea. I don't think that everything in it was executed perfectly, but I think it was something that could have been like fixed in future films. I do like what they're doing now, but I would prefer to see a more Gothic style Dark Universe as opposed to like the modern thing that they went with. And I think that was one of the failures. Though the modern ones are working out with Invisible Man and stuff like that. Orgasmo is really fun, actually. Yeah, a PG-13 rating doesn't always play it safe. Well, you just look at like the stuff that they can do with PG-13 range. Well, it wasn't PG-13, I guess in the UK, it's probably something else. But I don't know the rating system in the UK. But they did some pretty cool quality stuff, really good stuff. I mean, like Amicus put out some bonkersly fun stuff. Depends on what the MPAA is smoking that day. That is true. AME, it truly does. 12, 15, and 18. Perfect. So I'd say, Sasha, they'd probably be around 15 right there, right? I was only watching NC-17. Then you don't have a lot of films to watch, I tell you. Because unfortunately, Showgirls killed the NC-17 rating, which is a shame because Showgirls is not as bad as people say. Oh, it's kind of fun. I like that actually. that maybe the comment that made my night. But it's going to be interesting. Antlers needs to come to VOD. Which one's Antlers? That's one I'm. Do I? Something I got to do actually put myself in playlists because that's me just being lazy, Ragman. So thank you for calling that out. That's something that I definitely have to do. So remind me if you don't see playlists on my channel this week, call me up for my laziness and tell me to do playlists because I will do those for you. My better half's been telling me to do that for a while now. Wendigo horror film that should have come up by now. Ooh, I'm interested. I'd never heard of it. Four Times that Night. It's been a long time since I've seen Four Times that Night. I don't even remember. I don't remember much about it. So does Ozzy said, perfect. Thank you, Dick. Dracula plagued zombies, Quatermass in the Pit, Rasputin, the Devil Rides Out, Mummy Shroud, Reptile, Frankenstein, the Monster from Hell. So there you go. Nothing's going to cross over. So you can get that Ozzy set and get the Hammer Mill Creek set, and bam, you got yourself a lot of Hammer there. When I do my next Hammer Amicus live stream, please invite your days. Oh, so basically, what you mean, Alvin, is kind of like do a reminder like a couple days before, like I see some channels do when they say we're doing a video like that. Would like do a reminder of it. That's a good idea actually. So when I know that I'm going to do it, I'm going to see if I can set a reminder for that video ahead of time. I do try to always, when I do a 30 Days Horror, just so you guys know, I always put a Hammer film in there. I try to put something different in there though, because I grew up with Hammer stuff. My dad, my mom, like my aunt Thelma, were huge fans of like gothic horror. Oh, please invite my dad. I would love to actually. Uh, if I That's actually not a bad idea to do with my dad because he grew up watching these films in the theater. As you know, I definitely saw them like in the video era, but my dad like grew up and saw them in the theater as well. I would love to actually have my dad in something like that. I'm not quite sure when I'm getting back into Newfoundland again. I desperately need to though, because I kind of need a. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not feeling the greatest lately, and I do need a. I need a vacation. Is what I need. I need a vacation. Is what it is. But I'm not quite sure when that's gonna come. Preaching the Criterion Midnight. How's the 31 days thing work that I'm doing? Well, okay. Are you new to the 31 days thing for me? Midnight Cowboy. Well, Tenet is playing in the drive-in here, so I'm going to go see Tenet at the drive-in. I'm a Christopher Nolan fan. You guys know I got all the Christopher Nolan 4Ks. I think I'm missing one, but I'm definitely going to see Tenet at the drive-in when it comes on August 28th. All right, so the way that it works for a normal channel for 31 Days of Horror is basically this: is that you watch 31 films or more over the 31 days of October. You do a review every day from October 1st to October 31st. Often you theme it, but for my channel, I started doing this. What I started doing last year was I started making all my review videos live, so that basically you could come in here and we can, not only am I going to review the movie for you, but we're going to talk about it and see where it kind of leads to, where the conversation can lead to. So like last year, I talked about some like I reviewed The Psychic, for instance, and Murder Rock, like two of the Fulci films, and we got talking about Fulci's later stuff, and and we kind of spanned out from there. So it's for me, the 30 Days Horror is a little bit different because it's not just a regular review; it's live, like you're seeing right now, and we get to talk about a lot of different things. And if there's news that day or things that have to be talked about as well, you get to do that during the review, and it's kind of fun. Some go longer than others, depending on how burnt out I am. Doing 31 live videos over the space of a month now, because I also have videos going with my Patreon as well. Me and my better half have to watch movies here too. Often they do include spoilers, but I will let you know ahead of time if spoilers are included, Ragman. Sometimes I'll try not to, because if it's something I'm really excited about, it's got like a mystery behind it. Because me and my better half are going to be doing videos for the 31 Days of Horror as well. I also have to watch more and film exclusive videos with my better half for my Patreon channel too. So that means that there are more than 31 films that I'm going to be watching and reviewing for the 31 Days of Horror. And I am slowly working on getting like working through things for the things to start up a podcast, which I'm hoping close to the end of the year. Depends. Patreon stuff in advance. I would love to, but the way things have been going right now, it has been a bit. It's been a bit harder to do that. But yeah, I could. I mean, like, I want to do a live one with my dad. But I might want to do like a Patreon level video with my dad as well. That could be cool. Thank you. You just gave me an idea. Oh, yeah, you just gave me an idea. Oh, the theater's come to here, like, it isn't a regular theater. Uh, oh, I do. I watch them on that day, like Regman. So it's not like I watch the videos ahead of time and then I make the video on October 1st, 2nd, 3rd. No. So that it's fresh in my mind. I no matter if I'm working or not, whether I'll get up early or either early in the morning before work or I'll do it after work and then I'll do the video. But I watch the movie on the day that I do the review, so it's fresh and you're getting not just critical analysis, but like my gut reaction to the film as I've seen it on that day, which I think works well for my channel, as opposed to like I'll be doing some pre-tape stuff like throughout as well. But the 31 days are 31 live days of horror as opposed to the regular 31 days of horror. Uh, so hopefully you guys are going to like that this year. It went over pretty well last year. Some days were better than others. You think he's overrated? I don't see. I don't. I mean, I don't think anybody's overrated if you like them. That's the thing, right? If you like their like, if you like their output, that's. But it all depends on what you like. Did you hear that Keanu Lorber released the last two Gunsmoke reunion movies? Took them out of the 4.3 aspect ratio and put them in 16.9 widescreen. But it depends on how they were done. I'd have to check. Aspect ratio is always like a bit of a touchy thing. But I'm kind of curious to what they'll like double feature Tenet with. The last drive-in movie I saw, which I told you guys about, was Back to the Future and Jaws, which was an amazing double feature. They'll probably have a newer film, maybe like a kids film or something like that, to start out and then play Tenet second. I would prefer if they had like maybe like an older film, not another Nolan film. I don't want like two Nolan films like as a double feature, a little bit heady. You know what I mean? You want to go in like with one Nolan film. You want to like double up on Nolan. Like, is a heady director, and he's gonna push like certain things, and you're like, that's okay for like one film, but Nolan is not a director you want to be like double featuring. Um, there's like Kubrick. You don't want to like double. I don't want to double feature Kubrick like The Shining. Let's watch The Shining and Clockwork Orange today. That two total mind scrambles. So I realize I'm still working on my viewing list. Uh, the Tenet and the Tenet. Ah, there you go. Polanski and Nolan. But those are both kind of like mental type films too. Oh, so yeah. Well, I saw it back in 1985. My better half was younger back then, so she wouldn't have seen it. Uh, but so getting her seeing it for the first time in a on a big screen was kind of cool. And it was the first time she saw Jaws too, right? Well, not the first time she saw Jaws. She loves the movie Jaws. First time. That should not be happening right now. And I'll tell you why that should not have happened. I froze up there for a second because I had to reconnect, by the way, guys, just so you know. But I got an extender downstairs now. I got two extenders yesterday when I went to pick up this. I picked up extenders so that I can make videos down here without any of these reconnection problems and interruptions. So I have a Wi-Fi extender upstairs, and got a Wi-Fi extender down here to create like a whole big web network so that I should not have the reconnection issues. A little bit concerned that I got a reconnection issue right there. Hopefully, and that's not going to happen very often. And that leads me to believe that it is my iPad and not so much the connection. But we'll see how that goes. Hey, John, what you missed? Well, we talked about a lot. Actually, it's almost you came in near the end, but we talked about the DC fandom stuff. I'm a really big fan of the Batman. We talked about the Indicator Columbia Noir set. We talked about the Hammer Mill Creek set, which has 20 films coming on Blu-ray. Some for the first time here in North America, I think. And in case you're wondering, no, they're not going to cross over with your Scream Factory hammers that you're probably collecting. So it'll be, we got through a few interesting things here. And we talked about doing a future Amicus versus Hammer video. So right now, hands up, guys. By the way, if you're here, please hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed or doing the bell notification thing, please do that. It helps out my channel a lot, and that way you'll get to see and be notified when these videos come up. When they're bigger videos, I will try to do something that, even though you didn't mean it, I'm going to say, for something that I really know that I think is going to really interest, I'll set reminders for certain videos that I think are going to be really, really big videos. Who wants a Hammer versus Amicus video? Who wants to see me do a redux of that, which I started around 2 years ago? Who wants to see an Hammer versus Amicus video? Who wants to see me do a Hammer versus Amicus video with my dad, who actually saw all of these movies in the theater? Because we'll work on doing that. Dr. Mark, if you haven't voted on the poll yet, don't forget to vote on the poll. So there you go. We have a video idea. There's more versus videos coming up, by the way. Let's find out what the poll listing is right now. Oh, here you go. Birdemic, which I thought was the cinch to win, has dropped down into second place with Dracula versus Frankenstein, tied for second place. RoboWar has taken over the lead, which completely shocks me, but that's cool. And Don't Go in the Woods Alone, somebody gave a vote to that, which really, that intrigues me as well. So I thought somebody had voted for Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, but it looks like they might have changed their vote. But it looks like RoboWar is now in the lead for the next I Made My Wife Watch video on the Patreon channel. So interesting to know. I really can't tell when you pop a poll what's going to win. Bahia Blanca was going to be on this poll, by the way, a Jess Franco film, because I was going to say, do I want to get my better half to watch a Jess Franco film? The second one, I'm like, no, we're going to leave a Jess Franco film for the... no, it's okay, man. It's cool. That actually, that super intrigues me. I love when stuff like that happens. Put a swerve into me. So I'm definitely going to put at least one Jess Franco into the next one. All right. So here you go, guys. At 68 minutes, this is a shorter video, but I'm not feeling the best. I really didn't plan to make a video tonight. I'll tell you right now, I'm fairly weak and pretty groggy. Thank you, John. I really appreciate that. You're a constant supporter here in the Super Chat, and thank you for doing that. For John, a great Super Chat supporter, to my Patreon supporters, thank you guys so much. Because of you guys, for those that weren't here at the beginning of the video, we are this much closer right now to the podcast. And for those that don't, this was a huge deal for me to get towards the podcast. I am Aaron. This is my movie library. You guys are the Cult with Cinnamon, the Crimson Cult. Have a fantastic night. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Be happy. And yeah, till we meet again. Ooh. As Kubrick would say, you know, what was it he said? Like the Cult. I'm too tired to remember. Have a great evening, guys. Go watch SummerSlam or something. Let me know how it is. Or watch AEW, because it's a much better wrestling show.